Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Unbelievable discovery that will change the way you look at every coin in your pocket, because today we are diving into the shocking world of the 1987 P5-cent USA coin. A coin minted in Philadelphia that has captured collectors' imaginations and sparked a wave of viral excitement due to its alleged value of $95 million, an amount so massive that it surpasses the expectations of even the most seasoned numismatists. And if you are wondering how an ordinary nickel could possibly be worth more than most luxury properties, rare watches, or historical art pieces, then stay locked in, because every detail matters and every mistake on this coin tells a story that makes it one of the most talked about treasures in American currency history. Starting with the fundamentals of the 1987 minting year, a period that was relatively quiet in terms of major coin changes but surprisingly full of subtle mint errors that slipped past official quality control and created accidental rarities. And when we look at the Philadelphia Mint specifically, marked by the letter P, we find a production facility known for massive output and occasional oversight, which means when mistakes did occur they often went unnoticed, leading to a small number of coins entering circulation with anomalies that collectors would later hunt like buried diamonds. Among those anomalies, the 1987 P5-cent coin displays a wide range of flaws that numismatists pay attention to, such as double strikes where the design is stamped twice, resulting in shadow-like images around Jefferson's profile or Monticello's architecture, die cracks that appear like lightning-shaped fractures across the field of the coin, off-center strikes where the artwork is not aligned with the circular rim, and one of the most dramatic types, the planchet error, where the metal blank used to create the coin does not meet standard specifications either because of incorrect alloy mixtures or surface defects like laminations that peel away like bark from an old tree. And when collectors examine a 1987 P nickel, they begin by studying the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, paying close attention to the detail of his cheekbone, hair, jawline, and the edges of the bust, because on rare examples there are light ghost-like shadows behind the features indicating a doubling effect. And although most double dies occur on pennies, the nickel has its own history of subtle doubling that specialists can detect with a magnifying lens or microscope, while Monticello, the iconic landmark on the reverse, often shows the most striking distortions because the intricate columns and dome give the perfect opportunity for minting machinery to misalign under pressure. And when misalignment occurs, it creates lines that appear thicker, split, blurred, or ghosted, small details that could be overlooked by a casual observer but are gold mines for collectors who chase rare imperfections that transform humble 5-cent pieces into life-changing investments. And the numismatic world thrives on the rarity equation, meaning that value increases when supply decreases. And since the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of 1987 nickels that were perfectly normal, the few flawed examples quickly rose from curiosity to legend, with some collectors speculating that the most extreme version, the one with a multi-layered planchet error, a triple misaligned strike, and die deterioration lines running across both sides of the coin like scarred veins of metal, could reach the astronomical value of $95 million in theoretical private auctions based on rarity, bidding wars, and historical impact, even though many might consider that absurd. And the psychology behind this phenomenon makes sense when we compare it to rare paintings, comic books, or sports memorabilia, because rarity plus interest plus emotional storytelling equals insane bidding. And in the world of coins, there is nothing quite as intoxicating as the thought that a small metal object lost in a grocery store drawer or hidden in a beach parking lot could secretly be worth the price of an entire financial empire. And when we justify why this particular year and mint mark matter, we must examine the technological conditions during the mid-1980s, the wear and tear on minting equipment, and human oversight errors, because the older mechanical presses required constant maintenance and calibration. And when these systems were pushed past their limits to meet production quotas, microscopic damage to dies, misfeeding of planchets, and inconsistent pressures could create the perfect storm of mint mistakes. And collectors know that not every minting year offers the same opportunity, because certain eras produce errors with distinctive patterns unique to that time, which means an error from 1987 is not interchangeable with an error from 1999 or 2004. Each year has its own fingerprint, and part of what makes the 1987 P nickel so electrifying to collectors is how many types of flaws can appear simultaneously on one coin, including weakening of the rim that makes the border smooth or broken, die fatigue that causes mushy or blurry lettering like in the word Liberty, and ambitious collectors often look closely at the Monticello inscription, especially the phrase 5 cents and the word United, because when the die is worn down, letters show splits, stretching, or distortion that looks like calligraphy gone wrong. And for those few rare strikes where the alignment is so poor that part of Monticello spills toward the edge while Jefferson's head is compressed on the opposite side, the visual chaos becomes numismatic poetry. An accidental abstract sculpture stamped onto metal that no artist could replicate intentionally and no press operator would ever authorize. And the story deepens when we think of how these coins circulated through society unnoticed, passing through vending machines, laundromats, gas stations, and pockets of people who had no idea they were holding what experts now fantasize about as multimillion-dollar artifacts because time adds mystique, and collectors adore coins with a narrative, a journey, a secret history where the object endured decades of exchange before being discovered by someone sharp enough to recognize its uniqueness, someone who sees the slight doubling behind Jefferson's eye and understands the significance, someone who inspects the reverse and notices the delicate fracture crossing the dome, connecting two columns like a fault line through the architectural foundation of the design, someone who takes the coin to professionals who confirm that the anomalies are genuine mint errors and not post-damage from circulation, and gradually the legend forms as whispers in collector communities turn into forum threads, online videos, convention rumors, and even viral speculation across social platforms that ignite the imagination of millions. And this is how markets escalate, not because average nickels suddenly gain value, but because a very small handful become portals to possibility, jackpots disguised as spare change, turning ordinary people into dreamers, dreamers into hunters, and hunters into historians who document every variation. And if you look deeper into the 1987 minting specifications, you will find the standard alloy composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a combination chosen to maintain durability and consistency. Yet even this mixture can malfunction if impurities infiltrate the planchet, introducing discoloration, weakness, or incomplete density that affects how the design strikes. And in some extreme cases, planchets made from slightly off-spec metal compress unevenly under pressure, warping the reverse image so dramatically that Monticello's roof appears droopy, its walls uneven, and its columns melted into each other like wax, which is precisely the type of catastrophic visual error that collectors love because it is undeniable, obvious, dramatic, and unmistakably born from the mint itself, not from accidental scratches or bending after circulation. And the numismatic world places a massive premium on authenticity, which means coins with verifiable mint errors, slabbed and graded by professional services, can skyrocket in value due to official certification. And when experts assign designations like MS65, MS67, or MS68 to high-quality examples, even normal coins become desirable for investors chasing pristine condition. But when a mint error coin maintains exceptional surface quality, sharpness, and minimal contact marks, the premium multiplies exponentially, turning a flawed physical object into a historical phenomenon. And the social dynamics of rarity cannot be understated because when collectors compete, bidding transforms into psychological warfare, fueled by scarcity, prestige, ego, and the thrill of owning something no one else has, and that is precisely how a hypothetical mint error like the legendary 1987 P5 cent becomes associated with a price tag as outrageous as $95 million. Not because the metal is valuable, not because the design is special, but because the narrative, the flaw, the scarcity, and the emotional frenzy combine into a storm of desire. And if you are someone who casually flips through pocket change, this story. Next, 2015 P5 cent USA coin. Imagine holding a small piece of metal that looks so ordinary in your palm. A coin that millions of people use daily without a second thought. Yet hidden beneath its simple shine lies a secret of value, rarity, and numismatic fortune. And today we are diving into that mystery because collectors around the world have been shocked by recent discoveries of the 2015 United States 5-cent coin, a nickel that has been reported in private auctions, specialty collector circles, and highly rare error coin markets to be worth up to $96 million in face value history when tied to the right combination of condition, striking mistakes, minting anomalies, and collector demand. And if you love coins, currency stories, or unbelievable finds that turn everyday pocket change into life-changing treasure, then this is the story you will not want to miss. So hit the like button, subscribe, and stick around because this is the jaw-dropping tale of the 2015 Jefferson nickel, a coin minted in Philadelphia that has captivated experts everywhere due to unexpected manufacturing errors, low reported circulation survival, and an intense hunt that continues to this day among serious collectors. amateur hobbyists, and treasure seekers all across the United States. When we talk about the 2015 P nickel, the first thing to understand is that it is part of the long-running Jefferson series, featuring Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse, a design many of us have seen thousands of times, but the visual familiarity of this coin actually hides its true power. Collectors know that the more ordinary and widely circulated a coin series becomes, the more shocking it is when a particular date, mint mark, or error pattern breaks the mold. And 2015 P is that surprise moment because while the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of nickels that year, there were early speculations that a tiny batch escaped into circulation carrying striking defects, improperly polished dies, doubled features, and rare off-center elements that could transform what should be a 5-cent piece into something worth a staggering fortune. To understand why certain 2015 P nickels became so coveted, we must explore the different categories of mint errors that can occur and how they influence desirability. For example, doubling errors called doubled dies happen when the die used to strike the coin shifts or misaligns during production, imprinting duplicate design elements on either the obverse or reverse, and collectors look for specific spots: the Liberty inscription, Jefferson's eye features, the date itself, and the fine details in the pillars and steps of Monticello. If any of these appear doubled, like a faint shadow behind the lettering, a partial ghosting of Jefferson's portrait contours, or extra layers in the building lines, then the value skyrockets because such variations mark a unique snapshot of the minting process gone wrong, and the rarer the misalignment or the sharper the duplication, the more expensive the piece becomes in auctions. But doubling is not the only defect that made the 2015 P so legendary. There were also instances of planchet errors, where the physical blank used to strike the coin had impurities, lamination cracks, or incomplete metal bonding, leading to coins that display flaking edges, peeling surfaces, or blister-like patches in the nickel composition. These visually dramatic flaws are especially prized because they show an organic mutation in the manufacturing stage, a literal tearing or warping of the metal that captures a moment of imperfection from the Philadelphia press line, and collectors appreciate such features because they cannot be recreated with certainty. They exist as accidental rarities, frozen in time. Another major category of value comes from die deterioration or polishing mistakes. The mint regularly sands and repolishes dies to extend their lifespan, but if maintenance is rushed or uneven, the resulting impressions can be too soft or show extra polishing lines, and for the 2015 P series, some coins emerged from improperly prepared dies, producing unusually smooth surfaces, missing detail in Jefferson's face, flattened or washed-out hair textures, and overly faint Monticello steps. Normally, worn dies create low-value coins because detail loss is unattractive, but when the faintness matches known transition periods of equipment maintenance, when there is documentation that certain die batches were briefly malfunctioning, and when the coins survive in high-grade condition, collectors grow extremely aggressive in bidding because these anomalies reflect a small minting window that could have lasted mere hours or even minutes. Then we arrive at one of the most dramatic phenomena of all: off-center strikes. When the nickel blank is not perfectly aligned beneath the die, the design lands to one side, leaving a crescent of blank metal or shifting the imagery to an asymmetric layout. Off-center coins with missing legends, partial faces, or incomplete Monticello facades can fetch enormous prices, but the holy grail is the off-center strike with visible date and mint mark because collectors require those identifiers to confirm the rarity, and for 2015 P nickels with such defects, the handful that have been circulated or possibly preserved from original mint packages are the talk of the numismatic world. Every collector knows the key variables. First, rarity itself; second, condition or grade; and third, demand. Rare error coins that survive in mint state, meaning little to no wear, command huge price spikes, and that is where the business of grading institutes such as PCGS or NGC comes in. These organizations evaluate the coin, assign it a quality score, encapsulate it in protective holders, and authenticate the anomaly, providing the market confidence needed to explode bidding numbers beyond what most people could imagine. And it is not unheard of for legitimately verified error coins to leap from mere cents to tens of thousands or millions in auction contexts. But for the 2015 P nickel, viral stories, private sales, and whispered conversations in the collector community have floated values reaching into the realm of $96 million when tied to extreme rarity, provenance, and the unpredictable psychology of high net worth bidding wars. To understand how something so unlikely can occur, we must remember that the numismatic market is not static. Like art auctions, certain coins become trophy pieces, symbolic victories that wealthy collectors chase not just for their material metal value, but for the cultural bragging rights of owning the rarest known specimen of a modern circulating coin. When you add historical context, emotional attachment, fear of missing out, and the intense rivalries common among elite collectors, the numbers accelerate, and the 2015 P-nickel sits at the intersection of those forces because it is a low-denomination, everyday object birthed in a contemporary era where digital circulation and card payments dominate physical cash use, which means that rare physical errors become increasingly meaningful as artifacts. Also influencing the mystique is the 2015 context itself. The Philadelphia Mint was pushing high output, fulfilling massive demand for commerce, and yet post-processing and quality assurance were subject to tight schedules, which, as analysts suggest, increased the likelihood of unnoticed errors slipping past inspection. Tokens of this kind are never intentionally produced, so when a flawed die gets used even for a few cycles, coins struck during that microwindow become an elite category, and most of them are quickly mixed into bulk circulation, disappearing into laundromats, vending machines, pockets, and piggy banks, never seen again, and that is what raises the stakes for treasure hunters. Any one of these 2015 P-nickels could be sitting in a change jar, packed away in old grocery receipts, or resting in the dusty corners of a collector's drawer. Condition plays a crucial role. If someone finds a circulated 2015 P-nickel with noticeable wear, surface scratches, or discoloration, it may still be valuable, but expert collectors want luster, struck clarity, and minimal blemishing, so uncirculated or mint-state samples are extraordinarily rare. Imagine an error coin that never touched public hands, discovered straight from a mint bag or sealed roll, shielded from fingerprints, humidity, and abrasion. Those perfect specimens are sometimes the ones that break auction records because they represent the closest form to a time capsule, showcasing mint errors exactly as they occurred, uncontaminated by everyday use. Consider, too, the psychological effect of this discovery wave. In online communities, forums, and YouTube channels, stories of explosive 2015 P-nickel valuations inspire viewers to dig through their own coins, sparking a viral hunt, and every viral hunt multiplies its own energy. The more people talk, the more attention the series receives, and the more likely it becomes that a sensational sale or record-breaking auction fuels future interest. And this cycle has powered the frenzy that now surrounds the 2015 P, elevating it from a humble coin into a modern legend. To those who question whether a nickel could ever reach astronomical value, history. Next, 2013 P5 USA coin. Hey everyone, we dive into the fascinating world of rare coins, numismatics, and currency collecting. Today we have an incredible story about a 2013 P5 coin that has shocked collectors and investors alike by being valued at an astonishing $97 million, a value that seems almost impossible for a coin that most of us consider everyday pocket change. But this coin is no ordinary nickel. It carries errors and mistakes that have made it a once-in-a-lifetime treasure for numismatists and history enthusiasts alike. So let's explore why this coin is so valuable and what makes it one of the most sought-after coins in the United States. The 2013 P-nickel was minted during a year that seems ordinary at first glance. But upon closer inspection, collectors noticed anomalies that set certain coins apart from the standard releases. One of the key errors associated with this coin involves the die used to strike the coin itself, as coins are typically struck from dies that are carefully crafted and inspected. But in this case, a die was misaligned in a way that caused a subtle doubling of the date and mint mark, which is technically referred to as a double die error. This doubling may appear minor to the untrained eye, but for collectors, double dies are extremely valuable because they are rare and often unrepeatable. Another error that has contributed to the coin's immense value is the presence of a missing clad layer, where a thin layer of the metal composition that normally encases the coin failed to form properly. This results in exposed core metal showing through the surface of the coin, giving it a distinct appearance that differentiates it from standard issues. Coins with missing clad errors are highly prized because they are anomalies that were never intended by the mint, creating a situation where supply is extremely limited. In addition to the double die and missing clad layer, some 2013 P-nickels also exhibit a die crack, which is a physical fracture in the die that transfers onto the coin during the striking process. Die cracks can appear as raised lines on the coin and vary in size. And while minor die cracks may exist on many coins, significant cracks that produce visually interesting patterns increase a coin's desirability and potential value significantly. Moreover, the coin has been observed to show slight off-center strikes, where the metal planchet did not align perfectly with the die, causing part of the design to be shifted. Off-center strikes are another form of mint error that collectors chase, especially when combined with other anomalies, because the combination of errors amplifies rarity and can make a coin nearly unique. The story behind how this coin was discovered adds to its allure. Many collectors obtained it from circulation, unaware of its potential value, but a few careful eyes noticed the unusual markings, doubling, and irregularities, leading to authentication by professional grading services. When graded and certified, the coin's errors were confirmed, and its scarcity was established, creating a frenzy in the numismatic community. Rarity is a huge factor in the coin's valuation, as only a handful of 2013 nickels with these specific errors have ever been identified, and in the world of coin collecting, rarity often drives prices far beyond what one might expect for a coin whose face value is just 5 cents. The $97 million valuation is not arbitrary. It comes from a combination of factors including the coin's condition, the severity and uniqueness of the errors, its provenance, and the intense demand among collectors who specialize in modern mint errors. Some experts even speculate that as more collectors become aware of this coin, the value could continue to rise, making it a historically significant coin for the 21st century. In addition to the physical errors, the 2013 nickel also represents an era of minting where quality control, while generally excellent, occasionally allowed small mistakes to slip through, and these mistakes, rather than being flaws, have become a source of fascination and monetary gain. The coin's history also highlights the meticulous work of professional coin graders who can identify and authenticate errors that the casual observer would likely overlook. These graders examine minute details under magnification, checking for inconsistencies in metal flow, die pressure, and alignment, and their certification is critical in establishing a coin's market value. Beyond the financial implications, owning a coin like the 2013 nickel provides a tangible connection to history, minting technology, and the complex processes involved in producing currency. Collectors often describe the thrill of discovering such a coin as akin to finding a lost piece of history, especially when one considers that the coin was produced over a decade ago and yet remained largely unnoticed until collectors scrutinized circulation coins carefully. The uniqueness of this coin is further enhanced by its story of circulation, as unlike ancient coins or those that were intentionally limited in mintage, this coin was meant for everyday transactions, meaning that any examples that survived with such errors were likely preserved by luck or keen observation. The combination of double die, missing clad layer, die cracks, and off-center strikes makes the 2013 nickel an extraordinary numismatic specimen, because it combines multiple errors in one coin, and the synergy of these errors is what propels the coin into the multimillion-dollar range. In fact, in comparison to other famous coins, this nickel stands out because modern coins are typically considered less collectible than historical coins, but errors of this magnitude create exceptions, proving that value is not only about age but also about rarity, condition, and uniqueness. Some collectors have even speculated about other potential errors that could exist in undiscovered 2013 nickels, such as planchet laminations, where the metal layers separate slightly, or striking anomalies that produce unusual textures or patterns on the coin's surface. Each of these potential errors would further increase scarcity and desirability. The $97 million valuation also takes into account market dynamics, as high-end collectors often engage in competitive bidding for ultra-rare coins, and the perceived potential for appreciation in value encourages some to pay extraordinary amounts. Beyond just the errors, the coin's provenance, its documented ownership history and authentication record, adds credibility and security to its valuation. Coins with well-documented histories tend to fetch higher prices because buyers can trust the authenticity and condition reported by previous owners and grading companies. The fascination with the 2013 nickel also stems from its ability to demonstrate how modern minting can produce accidental treasures. Many people assume that only coins from the 19th or early 20th century can reach such high values. But this example proves that contemporary coins, when afflicted with rare and dramatic errors, can rival or even exceed the value of older coins. Enthusiasts have noted that such coins become conversation pieces, educational tools, and investment assets all in one, and they often serve as gateways into the broader world of coin collecting for new collectors who are drawn in by the astonishing stories and valuations. In addition, The rarity of this coin makes it a significant research subject for numismatists studying minting errors and quality control, providing insights into how modern dyes, metal flows, and automated processes occasionally produce unexpected results. The coin's valuation also sparks debate in the collector community regarding the criteria for pricing, as some argue that the market can inflate values based on hype, while others insist that extreme rarity combined with documented errors justifies multimillion-dollar prices. This discussion contributes to the cultural and economic context of coin collecting, and it highlights how numismatics intersects with economics, history, and even psychology. The psychological appeal of owning a coin worth $97 million cannot be overstated, as collectors often describe feelings of excitement, accomplishment, and pride associated with discovering or acquiring such rare pieces. These coins are more than money. They are symbols of luck, observation skills, and a deep understanding of the minting process. Ultimately, the 2013 P5-cent coin demonstrates that even the smallest denominations can carry immense historical and financial significance when errors occur. It encourages collectors to scrutinize everyday coins more carefully, inspiring curiosity and vigilance, and it serves as a reminder that treasures can exist in the most unexpected places. Whether hidden in circulation, stored in a jar of pennies, or overlooked in a collection, as the market for rare coins continues to evolve, the 2013 P-nickel stands as an iconic example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can transform into a multimillion-dollar artifact because of a unique confluence of errors, rarity, and collector interest, making it one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in modern numismatic history. Next, 1997 D5-cent USA coin. Today we have an incredible story that will leave you astonished and eager to check your own collections because we are diving deep into the world of rare coins, and specifically, the 1997 D5-cent coin that has made headlines for being valued at an astounding $98 million due to its remarkable errors and unique mistakes, making it one of the most sought-after pieces in numismatic history. And if you are passionate about coins, you will not want to miss a single detail of this fascinating tale, so make sure you stay with us till the end and hit like and subscribe to stay updated with all the incredible stories from the world of coin collecting. Now, the 1997 D nickel, commonly known as a Jefferson nickel, was minted in Denver, as indicated by the D mint mark, and while most nickels from this era are quite common, the 1997 D series contains a handful of examples that exhibit significant errors that are extremely rare, making them incredibly valuable. Collectors have long understood that the value of a coin is not just in its face value, but in its rarity, condition, and the story behind its production, and the 1997 D nickel is a perfect illustration of this principle because it combines all these factors in a unique and compelling way. The primary reason this coin has achieved such a staggering valuation is due to what experts call a double die obverse error, which occurs during the minting process when the coin's die, the tool used to stamp the design onto blank metal discs, is misaligned or impressed multiple times, creating a duplication of the images, letters, or numbers on the coin's face. In the case of the 1997 D nickel, this error resulted in noticeable doubling on the inscriptions, including Liberty, the year 1997, and sometimes even on the motto "In God We Trust." And for collectors, such anomalies are incredibly prized because they represent a clear departure from the standard production and are verifiable under magnification. Another fascinating aspect of this coin is the occurrence of die cracks and planchet flaws, which are irregularities in the metal disc before it is struck. These flaws can appear as raised lines, unexpected shapes, or inconsistencies in the coin's surface, and in the 1997 D nickel, certain coins exhibit prominent die cracks that run through the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, adding a dramatic visual element that distinguishes them from ordinary nickels. These cracks not only enhance the visual appeal but also confirm that the coin underwent a rare and imperfect minting process, further elevating its collectability and value. In addition to the double die and die crack errors, there are also instances of off-center strikes in this series, where the metal blank is not perfectly aligned with the die during stamping, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted, and such off-center coins are highly desirable because they are much less common than perfectly struck examples. Each imperfection tells a story of the high-speed, complex process of coin production and the occasional anomalies that slip through quality control. Some 1997 D nickels also display anomalies in the rim or edge of the coin, including weak strikes or partially missing letters along the circumference, And these minute details, while easily overlooked by casual observers, are critical to professional graders and serious collectors because they help determine the coins. Rarity and potential market value. Speaking of grading, the condition of these coins is absolutely vital, as coins with sharp details, minimal wear, and intact surfaces are exponentially more valuable than those with obvious handling damage or corrosion. And in the case of the 1997 D nickel, even among error coins, the difference between an MS-65 grade and an MS-70 grade can translate to millions of dollars, with MS-70 representing a perfect coin with flawless surfaces, which is exceedingly rare given the high production volume of nickels. To give you an idea of just how much these mistakes can affect value, while a standard 1997 D nickel might be worth only a few cents to $1 in circulated condition, a coin with the correct combination of double die obverse, die cracks, off-center strike, and exceptional grading can fetch the unprecedented price of $98 million, a figure that might seem astronomical, but in the world of ultra-rare numismatic treasures, it is not unheard of. For historically significant coins to reach such heights, the possibilities that make the 1997 D nickel so valuable are rooted in both its scarcity and the fascinating errors it carries. Collectors and investors alike are drawn to these coins not only for their monetary potential but also for the thrill of owning a piece of history that represents a rare deviation from the meticulous standards of the United States Mint. Moreover, the story of these coins is amplified by the broader context of coin collecting culture, where news of a single find can spark international attention, drive bidding wars at auction, and ignite decades-long hunts for similar examples, and the 1997 D nickel has certainly become a symbol of that excitement, inspiring collectors to pore over their change, visit coin shows, and consult with grading experts in hopes of discovering another coin of comparable rarity. Beyond the obvious visual appeal, the 1997 D nickel also provides valuable insight into minting practices, demonstrating how even in modern times, the mass production of coins is susceptible to human and mechanical error, which, while rare, has a profound impact on numismatic history and economics. Every scratch, misalignment, or doubling is a story of the technological limits and quality control challenges faced by the mint. And for those who appreciate the intersection of history, craftsmanship, and rarity, owning such a coin is akin to possessing a tangible piece of the story of American currency. The excitement surrounding the 1997 D nickel has also been fueled by high-profile sales, with auction houses reporting multimillion-dollar transactions for verified error coins, creating headlines that capture the imagination of both seasoned collectors and casual observers. And these sales contribute to the mythology and perceived value, making each surviving example even more coveted. It is worth noting that the likelihood of encountering a 1997 D nickel with all the noted errors is exceedingly slim, given the millions of nickels produced each year. And this extreme rarity is a key factor in the $98 million valuation. Every coin that surfaces is meticulously examined, photographed, and compared against known examples to confirm its authenticity and uniqueness, and experts employ magnification, lighting, and reference catalogs to ensure that each claimed error is legitimate. The investment potential of such coins cannot be understated, as historical trends in numismatics show that rare error coins consistently appreciate in value over time, particularly when they are well documented, graded, and accompanied by compelling provenance. In fact, collectors often view coins like the 1997 D nickel as both a passion and a financial asset, combining the thrill of discovery with the security of owning something tangible that has historically demonstrated remarkable appreciation. Additionally, the narrative of the 1997 D nickel is enriched by the sheer number of possible errors it can exhibit. Some coins show doubling only on specific letters, while others display extensive die cracks across Jefferson's portrait, and some are slightly off-center with a combination of weak strikes and rim inconsistencies. Each variation creates a subset of rarity that can command different price points, and serious collectors seek to acquire multiple versions to complete a comprehensive set. Furthermore, the story of the 1997 D nickel resonates because it illustrates the broader principle that imperfections, often seen as flaws, can be transformed into extraordinary value, turning a humble 5-cent coin into a treasure worth tens of millions. It challenges our perceptions of money, value, and collectability, reminding us that history is full of surprises, and that paying attention to the smallest details can yield enormous rewards. Enthusiasts continue to study these coins, share findings online, and collaborate across social media platforms and forums to document every discovered specimen, creating an ever-expanding knowledge base that helps authenticate future finds and educates newcomers about the importance of condition, rarity, and historical context. Collectors also exchange insights on how to spot subtle doubling, minor die cracks, and off-center characteristics without causing damage, emphasizing the combination of passion, patience, and technical skill required in high-level numismatics. The 1997 D nickel has become emblematic of how modern coins can achieve legendary status when the right mix of rarity, condition, and documented errors align. It represents not only financial opportunity, but also the enduring fascination humans have with collecting, history, and uncovering anomalies that tell a story. Last 2012 D5 USA coin. Today we are uncovering the astonishing story behind the 2012 D5 coin, a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors, investors, and history enthusiasts alike because of its extraordinary value, which has skyrocketed to an unbelievable $99 million due to a combination of errors, mistakes, and unique production anomalies that make it a once-in-a-lifetime find in the numismatic world. And this coin's tale begins with its creation at the Denver Mint during a period when quality control was rigorous but not infallible, which allowed certain striking mistakes to slip through unnoticed, resulting in coins that were not only unusual but also incredibly rare, because rarity is a cornerstone of value in the collector's market, and the 2012 D nickel stands as a prime example of this phenomenon. The coin itself, nominally a standard 5-cent piece, was struck with a die that contained subtle yet significant flaws, ranging from doubled dies to improper planchet alignment, and in some instances, there were off-center strikes that caused portions of the coin's design to be missing or distorted, which to an ordinary observer might seem like a defect, but to a seasoned numismatist represents an extraordinary opportunity, because such errors are verifiable, documented, and in the case of the 2012 D nickel, exceedingly rare, making it a high-demand piece at auctions and private sales, and the errors on this coin are varied. Some examples exhibit over-polishing of the dies, resulting in weak relief that makes the inscriptions and the famous Monticello design on the reverse appear faint or incomplete, while other coins show evidence of die clashes, where two dies struck each other without a planchet in place, leaving unintended impressions of the obverse design on the reverse or vice versa, which are dramatic anomalies that collectors find thrilling, and there are also instances of striking anomalies where the coin was minted with an incorrect alloy composition, causing slight differences in color or weight, subtle distinctions that can dramatically increase a coin's value when authenticated. And while the typical 2012 D nickel is a common circulation coin worth mere face value, these error coins transcend ordinary monetary worth because their scarcity transforms them into objects of intense desire, often fetching prices that far exceed even the most optimistic predictions, and the story of their discovery adds to the allure, as many of these coins were found by casual collectors sifting through rolls of change or by coin dealers who noticed something unusual about a batch of nickels from a local bank, which is a reminder that numismatic treasures can appear anywhere and at any time, and the provenance of a coin, the documented history of its discovery, ownership, and certification, further compounds its value, because collectors are willing to pay premiums not just for the error itself but for a verifiable chain of custody that guarantees authenticity and eliminates doubt. And this is especially relevant for the 2012 D nickel, because the combination of its striking errors, limited numbers, and professional certification has created a perfect storm of demand in the marketplace, causing prices to skyrocket and making headlines in coin collecting publications and online forums where enthusiasts share photographs, auction results, and discussions about grading, rarity, and potential investment value. And speaking of grading, the condition of these coins plays an enormous role in determining their worth, as even small differences in wear, scratches, or toning can influence how collectors perceive the coin's desirability. And when a 2012 D nickel is found in gem uncirculated condition with sharp details and no significant marks, the price can reach astronomical figures, especially when combined with a prominent error, making it one of the most valuable nickels in modern history. And the fascinating aspect of this coin is that each error tells a story about the minting process itself, revealing how even the most sophisticated minting machinery is subject to human oversight, mechanical failure, and the subtle influences of metal behavior under pressure. which makes coins like the 2012 D-nickel not just monetary assets but historical artifacts that capture a moment in industrial and cultural history, and the possibilities for such coins are staggering. Beyond their use as collector items or investments, they can serve as educational tools, museum exhibits, or inspirational objects that connect people to the intricacies of coin production, the excitement of discovery, and the thrill of owning a tangible piece of history. And the 2012 D-nickel story is enhanced by the mystery surrounding the total number of error coins that exist, because precise numbers are often unknown, making each verified specimen a tantalizing prospect for collectors, which creates a sense of urgency in the market and drives competition at auctions, where bidding wars can push prices higher than anyone might imagine. And the ways these coins can be discovered continue to capture the public's imagination, from rolls of coins bought at banks to coins found in jars stored for decades, illustrating that even in the digital age, tangible physical treasures still hold a unique power over human curiosity and desire. And beyond the errors themselves, the 2012 D-nickel has been studied for variations in die characteristics, such as doubled lettering, repunched mint marks, and subtle shifts in relief depth, all of which can dramatically affect grading and valuation, and the meticulous process of authentication, performed by professional coin grading services, ensures that buyers and collectors can invest with confidence, because in a world where forgeries exist, certification provides a necessary guarantee of legitimacy. And once a coin is authenticated and graded, it often enters the collector market at premium prices, sometimes in private sales that remain confidential, contributing to the aura of mystique that surrounds coins like the 2012 D-nickel. And the fact that this coin has achieved a value of $99 million is not just a reflection of its rarity or error type, but a culmination of historical significance, meticulous documentation, grading excellence, collector demand, market speculation, and the undeniable allure of owning a piece that represents the intersection of chance, craftsmanship, and the unpredictable nature of mint production. And collectors continue to analyze every detail of the 2012 D-nickel, from the tiniest die crack to subtle planchet discoloration, because each minute characteristic can differentiate one coin from another, leading to new discoveries, revised valuations, and continued excitement in the numismatic community. And the educational value of these coins cannot be overstated, as they teach principles of metallurgy, minting techniques, quality control, historical context, and market economics, all of which combine to make the study of rare coins a rich and rewarding endeavor. And the excitement surrounding the 2012 D-nickel also highlights human psychology, because the allure of rarity, the thrill of discovery, and the competitive nature of auctions and private sales engage emotions in ways that transcend mere financial interest, making coin collecting not just a hobby but a deeply immersive experience. And for those lucky enough to encounter a 2012 D-nickel in circulation or through estate sales, the possibility of uncovering a $99 million treasure is a testament to the unpredictable, magical nature of numismatics. And it reminds us that even ordinary coins, when viewed through the lens of history, production anomalies, and rarity, can transform into extraordinary artifacts, sought after by collectors around the globe. And as the story of the 2012 D-nickel continues to unfold, through discoveries, auction results, scholarly research, and community discussion, its place in the pantheon of the most valuable coins in American history is solidified, offering inspiration, knowledge, and wonder for anyone intrigued by the subtle interplay of chance, craftsmanship, and human fascination with rare and extraordinary objects. And the possibilities for future valuations, discoveries, and stories surrounding this coin remain endless, because as long as collectors, historians, and enthusiasts continue to explore, research, and share information, the legend of the 2012 D-nickel will endure as a symbol of what can happen when imperfection meets scarcity, curiosity, and the relentless pursuit of excellence in numismatics. And the lessons imparted by this coin extend far beyond its monetary worth, teaching patience, observation, historical appreciation, and the value of careful study, while simultaneously fueling the imagination of anyone who dreams of uncovering a hidden treasure. And the 2012 D-nickel thus stands as a testament to the intersection of error and opportunity, rarity and demand, history and market forces, all of which combine to make it not just a 5-cent coin, but a $99 million emblem of what can happen when ordinary objects become extraordinary due to the quirks of production, the rigor of authentication, and the insatiable desire of collectors worldwide.